In the heart of the Indonesian archipelago on the island of Sumbawa lay Mount Tambora. This seemingly tranquil giant, a stratovolcano, had slumbered for centuries. Unaware of the sleeping giant in their midst, the local people lived and farmed on the fertile slopes of the volcano. Little did they know that beneath the earth a fiery inferno was brewing, one that would soon unleash the most destructive volcanic eruption in recorded history. On April 10, 1815, Tambora awoke from its long sleep, forever changing the course of history. The eruption began with a series of smaller explosions, sending plumes of ash and smoke high into the atmosphere. These initial bursts were just a prelude to the catastrophic events that were about to unfold. Then, on April 10, 1815, the mountain unleashed its full fury. The ground trembled and the sky darkened as the volcano erupted with unprecedented force. The eruption reached its peak intensity on this fateful day, unleashing a cataclysmic explosion that ripped through the sky. The sheer power of the eruption was unlike anything witnessed before, sending shockwaves across the region. The sound of the eruption was deafening, audible over 1,200 miles away. It was as if the earth itself was roaring in agony. Imagine a sound so loud it could be heard on the island of Sumatra, over 1,200 miles away. The force of the explosion was so immense that it shattered windows and caused panic in distant lands. That's the equivalent of a sound traveling from New York City to Kansas City. The magnitude of the eruption was truly global in its impact. The eruption continued unabated for 3 horrifying days. The relentless activity spewed ash, smoke, and lava, creating an apocalyptic scene. Pyroclastic flows, fast-moving currents of hot gas and volcanic debris raced down the mountain slopes, incinerating everything in their path. These deadly flows moved at speeds of up to 450 miles per hour, leaving no chance for escape. Volcanic bombs, some the size of houses, were hurled through the air, leaving trails of destruction in their wake. These massive rocks crashed down, obliterating anything in their path and adding to the chaos. The once fertile landscape was transformed into a desolate wasteland, buried beneath meters of ash and pumice. The aftermath of the eruption left the region unrecognizable, a stark reminder of nature's raw power. The immediate impact of the eruption was catastrophic. The entire kingdom of Tambora, which had flourished on the volcano's slopes, was wiped off the face of the earth. The eruption claimed the lives of an estimated 10,000 people instantly, victims of the searing heat, suffocating ash, and devastating pyroclastic flows. The villages and towns that once dotted the landscape were buried beneath a thick blanket of volcanic debris. The scale of the eruption was staggering. It's estimated that Tambora ejected over 50 cubic miles of material into the atmosphere, more than twice the amount ejected by the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883. To put that into perspective, imagine a giant scooping out a chunk of the earth the size of Mount Everest. That's roughly the amount of material Tambora ejected into the atmosphere. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 was not just a local catastrophe. Its effects were felt globally, altering the course of history. The massive amount of sulfur dioxide gas ejected into the stratosphere formed a sulfate aerosol veil that enveloped the Earth, creating a barrier against the sun's rays. This veil acted like a giant sunshade, reflecting sunlight back into space and causing global temperatures to plummet, leading to a significant climatic anomaly. The following year, 1816, became known as the Year Without a Summer, a time when the usual warmth of the season was replaced by unseasonable cold. Average global temperatures dropped by 0.4 to 0.7 degrees Celsius, enough to disrupt weather patterns worldwide, causing chaos in various regions. The Northern Hemisphere experienced one of the coldest summers on record, with temperatures that felt more like winter than summer. Frost and snow were reported in June and July in parts of North America and Europe, an unprecedented phenomenon that baffled and alarmed the populace. The sudden and dramatic drop in temperature wreaked havoc on agriculture as crops that relied on the warmth of summer failed to mature. Crops failed, leading to widespread food shortages and famine as communities struggled to find enough to eat. The price of grain skyrocketed, making it difficult for many to afford basic staples, exacerbating the crisis. Riots broke out in Europe as people desperate for food took to the streets, demanding relief from the government and local authorities. The social unrest highlighted the fragility of societies dependent on stable weather patterns for their survival. Section 5. The Science of a Sunless Sky. The Tambora eruption provided scientists with a chilling example of how powerful volcanic eruptions can affect the Earth's climate. The massive injection of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere was the primary driver of the global cooling. These sulfur dioxide molecules acted like tiny mirrors, reflecting sunlight back into space. The eruption also injected large quantities of volcanic ash and dust into the atmosphere. These particles, while not as long-lasting as the sulfate aerosols, also contributed to the cooling effect by scattering and absorbing sunlight. The eruption served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the Earth's systems and the profound impact that seemingly distant events can have on our planet. Section 6. A world transformed long-term environmental impacts. The environmental impacts of the Tambora eruption were felt for years after the event. The eruption was so powerful that it ejected immense quantities of ash and gases high into the atmosphere, creating a veil that encircled the globe. The massive release of volcanic ash and aerosols into the atmosphere disrupted global weather patterns, leading to extreme weather events, including droughts, floods, and severe storms. These disruptions were not just short-term, they persisted for several years, causing widespread agricultural failures and food shortages. The eruption also had a profound impact on the cryosphere, the frozen parts of the Earth's system. The ash and gases released into the atmosphere contributed to a temporary cooling of the planet, which affected ice and snow cover. The eruption is believed to have contributed to the retreat of glaciers in the Swiss Alps. This retreat was part of a broader pattern of glacial melting observed in various mountainous regions around the world. It's even been suggested that the eruption may have played a role in the opening of the Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic Ocean connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The temporary cooling and subsequent warming cycles could have influenced ice conditions in the Arctic. The eruption also had unexpected consequences for human health. The ash and gases released into the atmosphere had far-reaching effects, impacting air quality and contributing to respiratory issues. The altered weather patterns, combined with widespread famine, created ideal conditions for the spread of diseases, including a devastating cholera pandemic that swept across Asia in the years following the eruption. The combination of environmental and health impacts made the Tambora eruption one of the most significant volcanic events in recorded history. Section 7. From Darkness to Inspiration, Cultural Responses to Tambora. The eruption of Mount Tambora left an indelible mark not only on the environment but also on human culture. The year 1816, shrouded in volcanic twilight, became a source of both anxiety and inspiration. The eerie sunsets and prolonged darkness captivated artists and writers, giving rise to a new aesthetic of the sublime. The English painter J.M.W. Turner, known for his dramatic landscapes, captured the otherworldly beauty of the volcanic sunsets in his paintings. The writer Mary Shelley, inspired by the gloomy atmosphere of that summer, penned her iconic novel Frankenstein, a tale of scientific hubris and the dark side of human nature. The eruption, in its own way, became a catalyst for creativity, prompting artists and thinkers to grapple with the power and unpredictability of the natural world. Section 8. Tambora and the Future Lessons from a Cataclysm. The eruption of Mount Tambora stands as a stark reminder of the awesome power of nature and the vulnerability of human civilization in the face of such forces. The eruption also highlights the interconnectedness of the Earth's systems and the global consequences of even seemingly localized events. By studying past eruptions like Tambora, scientists can better understand the potential impacts of future volcanic eruptions and develop strategies to mitigate their effects. The eruption also underscores the importance of scientific literacy and the need to heed the warnings of scientists. By understanding the science behind volcanic eruptions and climate change, We can make informed decisions to protect our planet and ensure a sustainable future for all. Section 9. Conclusion. The enduring legacy of Tambora. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 was a cataclysmic event that left an enduring legacy on our planet and its people. From the immediate devastation in Indonesia to the global year without a summer, the eruption's impacts were felt far and wide. Yet, from the darkness also came inspiration, prompting scientific inquiry and artistic expression. As we look towards the future, the lessons learned from Tambora serve as a reminder of our planet's awesome power and the importance of respecting and understanding the natural world.